Streaming, and I believe that we are on. If you guys can see us, please write in the chat.
According to what I see,
We are on.
we're on.
Yeah.
Let me sort this out. Oh, my windows are everywhere. Yay! So we are live. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to the show of two.
Yeah. Everyone else,
We're
like, you
so
know.
prepared for this week.
Yeah. You're getting the best of it here. It's me and Legion, you know.
Yeah, all the good-looking ones.
What's up, guys? So, as you see, it's just us two. This is my first time running the chat, and it went very smoothly, and it started instantly. So, next time you guys talk to Mr. Breezetones, you let him know that he has 8 thumbs. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so we got a small crew in chat. Jangles. Hi, Jangles. If you're still around. Glenn Hefner, always lost. David Moyle, and that's it. I guess he's only got 4 or 5 people.
Mr. Crow, I think you got your chat on your top chat, not your live chat.
I do.
Mr. Always Lost, what's up, man?
Mr. Miz.
Is it Miz?
That's what it is.
Oh my god, I just got super douchey vape bro on you. I'm sorry.
That's bad. That is wonderful. I love that.
Raven, holding it down. Mr. Wombatsky, what's up, man? Or person? I'm just gonna start saying person now.
How about just what's up?
Yeah. Wow, man.
What's up?
That's the answer. But yeah, guys, thanks for hopping in. Yeah, I know we already said it, but it's just Legion and I tonight. Breezetones is getting his face worked on. Chuck's gonna take away some time for some personal stuff, so you probably won't see him for a little bit, but he's doing all right. So show some love next time you get a chance. Otherwise, coming in off the weekend, it was a heavy advocacy week last week. You know, a lot of things got super hot, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Bullshit with you a little bit, and then get into the chat. But first, like always, we're definitely going to start with the buffet with Mr. Legion.
Who else are you going to pick? My buffet this week is super simple. I've got the Aegis X, the green version, running the Cerebus with a little bit of salted caramel macchiato from Barista Brew, one of my favorite juices. In the other one, I've got the Aegis X, the black one. We've got the Intake Dual on top. Also Barista Brew. This one is raspberry cheesecake. Or what is that? Raspberry cream Danish. Close enough. And on the other Aegis, the Aegis Legend, I've got the, what the hell is that called? The Barrage from Thesis and Asmodus. Just came in this morning. Barely given it a try so far. And of course, Duck's Nuts.
Guessing that's going to be the next review on the device, huh?
This one just came in, so it'll be about next week probably at least. Give me some time to figure it out.
Word. And then, so, thank you for your buffet, as usual. Anarchist Pink, top side of the goat, mixing it
What
up.
else? What else?
But I will say, making a new appearance, usually I drink the micheladas. I was at the store on the way home from work, and I was like, oh, I know, grab a couple tall cans for the show. They now have a lime and salt one.
Ooh.
Pretty good. It's probably going to kill my heart rate, but whatever. My blood pressure. But yeah, what's up? We got a pretty good amount of people in the chat. We got Mr. Mike Berg.
Mike Berg on the Vindicator and Asgard. Nice setup.
Nice.
I was lost. Well, how's that monster doing for you? You still using that? That is a nice take. I've actually got mine sitting here somewhere. It's somewhere there in the pile. That's just a pile of shit on my desk.
Shout out to Metal Dad Vapes. What's up? Thanks for joining. And then we got Raven with the topside drop dead pecan hazelnut custard here. Mr. Thomas Crow with the Titan Rebel cookie custard. Nice. Cookie custard's pretty bomb. And then we got Glenn Hefner with the Goon single Turk. Bonza Mech, and a Yogi Java granola. I heard that Yogi's pretty good, but I don't mess with it yet.
Java granola. I tried one of the Yogi ones. It was a granola. Wasn't a huge fan of it. Kind of tastes a bit like mold, but maybe the granola was off.
Yeah.
But Javio, that sounds nice. Sort of coffee granola.
Yeah.
I love like coffee flavors.
Hey, Kathy, thanks for stopping in. I wish you loved back. Mr. Wesley's got a brand new Vindicator in the mail today. Nice. I heard it's a bitch in piece. You know, one day I'll expand my horizons. We got Jake with the Doom Mesh RTA and some DIY maple pancake custard. That sounds bomb.
Never got my hand on that Dune. I really wanted to try it out, but never came in. Looked quite nice though.
Got Ron Batsky with the Stack Dreamer, Ardent, and Banana Bondage. Sounds kinky.
You'd know all about that, wouldn't you?
I had to pay my way through college. You know, after the GI Bill or whatever.
You know, you got those movies, especially like 80s movies, where there's always like some really down-home country boy ends up downtown New York in the middle of the night. And he's looking for a phone or something, and he walks into a bondage bar or a big leather gay bar. I always picture that as you. Like, what the hell is this stuff?
Back
And
when
they go, I'm down for it. Whatever you want.
I'll try anything 3 times, dude.
Of course, once to see if you like it, second time to see if you're right, and third time to verify your results.
Yeah, you know, it's all about the mean, medium, and average or whatever, right? I remember that from math. Simple numbers, folks. But speaking of the gay bar thing, back in the day, so I have a close friend, he's gay, and he used to go to like this downtown in Las Vegas. They have this little, like the old strip, you know, Fremont, and they have a bunch of bars in line. They have this piano bar called Don't Tell Mama. I never went to it before, you know. I never thought of it either. Like the name alone should just give it away, but you know, young and naive. And so we used to go there all the time, and then I would go there to pregame because the guys would buy me drinks, and then I would just go next door to the bar I wanted to go to.
The tricks of youth. When you're pretty, you can still get away with that.
Yeah.
Well, the older you get, it doesn't work so much anymore.
Yeah, now I just get like free solar panel handouts and stuff like that. And then, actually, Raven threw it out there. If any of you guys follow on social media, we want to give a moment of silence. Amazing photographer passed away over the weekend that's done work for local vape anarchist, bunch of big brands, and he's an amazing guy. So Mr. Vapor Eye passed away. His wife came on his social media and was like, you know, letting us know that he is no longer with us. So give a quick minute to him, moment of silence for him. So if you guys knew him, you know, keep him in your thoughts, his family in your thoughts and prayers. And then, you know, just sucks to have someone go that was such a talented person. But make sure that you live on through the memory of him with everything they did. That was amazing. So we just want to make sure that, you know, give a little shout out to him tonight.
Hell yeah.
And then let's see. Jangles, I didn't say hi to you yet. Mr. Keto Daddy, what's up, man? Thanks for joining in. I saw those wings on your Instagram story, and now I'm hungry. And then we got Jake saying, when you get old, though, you trade in that power for the power to get away with farting in public and saying crazy stuff. That's fair.
I've been doing that all my life. What are you talking about?
You were practicing for when it was acceptable.
Yeah. See, now it's acceptable. I got to find other things to do that are unacceptable. I got to push that line.
You got to find the limit, you know? You got to hit that point to get to it.
Wherever the line is, I live just on the other side of it. That's where I'm most comfortable.
And when you're just on the other side, it's easy to flip back over when you need to.
Yeah. Put on that suit and tie and go for the bank interview. Eagles cooked a pot roast, and he's telling us, but he's not willing to share. That's just not fair. Because now I really want some wings.
Yeah. Hell yeah, Keto. I'll be right there. So, uh, we didn't really have too much planned for tonight, but we want to get on here and talk to you guys, bullshit with you guys. I'll just go over some other stuff. With what's going on right now, especially in the States and Australia's hitting the October 1st thing, is pretty cool to see that thing that Bogan and Breeze Tones posted about the survey and how when everyone got involved, they were able to flip the scales, to get the opinion. And so that's why stuff like that matters because of public opinion pieces like that, especially if it's from like a local news page or something like that from that area, it shows that there's support behind it. And then when they try to manipulate headlines and stuff like that, they might think twice about it because they see that the people are actually in agreement for it. And a lot of mainstream media and local news and stuff like that try to go off of popular opinion instead of fact, which we all can see what's going on right now. So that's a really cool thing that's important to make sure you guys throw in when you can.
It has been really good over the last week or so watching people respond on news reports and stuff in the comments. Being polite, being clear, being concise, pointing to information, not getting too angry, not swearing or yelling, but keeping it calm and rational. Because, public opinion is always, we're never going to win this on a cash basis. We're never going to win with lobbying. And science only goes so far. If they're not willing to listen to and they can outshout science, that's not going to win. Public opinion. We can win this war if we get the majority of people on our side. So,
And
good
that's
work, guys.
Yeah, it's awesome, and that's exactly the point of any kind of democratic process. Well, at least that's the fundamental, is that, it's the voices of the people that make the change. And so it's been kicking ass, making voices heard. And I know it's a little dire here in the States, but I can personally say that I've noticed in the last week, everyone rising up and doing things. And then also I was watching a thing where they were doing the public hearings in Michigan with they had all the senators in there and stuff like that talking about the ban and all that stuff. And they had the senator, and they had these kids they brought up, and these kids were acting atrocious, like high-fiving their friends, doing the selfie thing, and all this shit. And then, the senators were asking them questions about stuff, and they weren't just normally when you see these hearings where the kids go in, oh, I had a friend that vaped, and now he doesn't talk, and all this stuff. And then they had these girls, and they go up there saying this stuff, oh, my friends vape, blah, blah, we want to stop it. And the senators are like, all right, so if these kids in your school are vaping, what are you doing as a peer to stop your friends from doing it? And they're just like, oh, we weren't prepared to actually do anything, we just came up here with our scripts. And so there's hope out there, a lot of people are paying attention. And if you've noticed, CBS News has been running the mainstream media on vaping, whether it was compared to smoking on that one video, or they had the doctor from NYU. So it's good time, guys, to see this and go through it. I mean, we're going to have a rough fight, but we're definitely getting a lot more time and exposure that we need on the positive aspects of it. So
I think that's the positive spin that we can put on this. And I think Matt mentioned this in his stream earlier today, is that, for the longest time, we've been flying under the radar, and the FDA could have legislated just about anything they wanted, and no one would have noticed, and it would have just been in the back pages of, the Financial Times. And until businesses started closing en masse, nobody really would have noticed it across the country. But now it's out there. It's in the public. We've got debate. We've got discussion. We've got people talking about it. And even if there's some negative side to it, or there's public people that are against us, it's out there. It can no longer be pushed under the rug or forgotten about. Laws won't be passed that are unseen. It'll all be out in the public. So that's kind of the positive spin that we can put on this. And also, the last couple of days, I've noticed the news, especially here in Australia, but also in the States, has been ramping up. There's more and more articles and stuff about this. But at the same time, that negative spin, like last week it was like this, no positive. It's just it's just there. We're pushing it. We're trying to equalize that eventually. But it's on that way. So hopefully things shift.
Yep, and I think I mean it's gonna be a rough fight, but I'm very hopeful, guys. So if you guys take anything from me, I'm definitely hopeful in this whole situation. I haven't even thought of in-game scenarios or exiting out of this industry because with people like you, doing the things and doing the posts and all of us coming together, we got this. It's gonna be a rough fight, but we do have this.
Well, it's something to consider. On the other hand, I mean, prohibition way back in the day, it lasted for 8 years. Eventually, laws were passed, and things changed. The mafia got huge, mass amounts of money, all that stuff that you see in movies, like old movies about that period of time. It's 8 years. Sounds like a long time, but it's a really short period of time. And then they saw the light. They realized that it was an unjust, unconstitutional situation, and it was overturned. And even if it gets really dark for us, if we keep persevering and we keep pushing forward, eventually we can see some positive change. It doesn't have to be forever.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long fight.
Someone steady wins the race.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got in the chat. We've got Thomas Crow saying he's able to have a meeting with the mayor when the senators in his area talk to him about vaping, give him real information. Don't know how much it stuck, but it was something. And it is something because it shows that it resonated enough with you to go out there and do that. That probably spoke more volumes to him than a million emails that had like the same thing. I'm not saying the emails don't matter, but it's a personal approach, and you were able to humanize what vaping is instead of what's being demonized on TV. So that's fucking bitching, man. I appreciate you for going out and doing that.
Awesome work, man. Jake points out, he says, I've seen a number of articles in the mainstream lately that are actually actively questioning the narrative and headlining things like, is the vape ban really a big win for big tobacco? Absolutely, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Just that gradual shift from 100% negative narrative to questioning it. Like, well, is this a good thing? And what businesses are going under? And are flavors really an issue? And all that sort of stuff. So we're starting to have some impact. It's not time to quit. It's time to push forward and keep going on.
Yeah, it's definitely because, like Legion just said, now with journalists and stuff that were outside the bubble that originated this are seeing how much it's picking up. And then a lot of these guys on the outside of these mainstream sources have integrity to go through and actually know what the hell they're going to talk about. And these are the kind of journalists that we need to do this stuff. Because we share this stuff all the time. Like, even so with the NYU thing, so we repost it to some of the pages that I work for, and we still have people that would share it, and then their friends question it, even though it's right there in front of their face, just because of the headlines. So when these journalists come out with these more pensive looks at vaping, it definitely opens the door for the people to change their mind. And there's the one thing that people gotta understand too, even no matter from the smallest person to the biggest person, it's really hard to swallow pride after you've made an opinion on something. So it's gonna take some time to turn these people around.
One of the biggest issues is that, never mind, total brain fart. I had something to say and I completely lost it. Never mind, it mustn't have been a big issue.
And then
Jingles finally learned how to retweet. That's awesome. At least you're doing something there. You know, you're spreading the word and you're putting your name behind it, and that's at least something.
Yeah, I was going to point that out, Jingles. When I was talking to him over the weekend, he said he got a shit ton of friend requests because of his vape stuff, which is awesome because these people are actually, asking questions and they're interested to learn more.
Labworks is in the house.
Mr. Labworks, and just so you guys in the chat know, it is me under the Amigos and Code name, so it's only me and Legion here, and so if you guys think that it's somebody else, unfortunately, it is not.
Yeah. So, Paul, Labworks was on the news in Australia recently. Didn't get a chance, been too busy to watch the whole piece. But, they didn't spin things very positively, unfortunately. They took his words and it's cut and chopped and put in there. But it wasn't a 100% negative piece from what I saw. So, good work on him, or good on him for getting out there and doing his best and playing a part in trying to change this narrative.
And especially out there with America getting, the U.S. getting so much attention on mainstream stuff, it's bitching that you're out there to do something for your hometown, Australia and shit like that. Because you guys need to have a little bit more focus. Not a lot of people actually knew about the October 1st thing. And to be completely honest, I didn't know about it until Adam told me about it. And I was clueless on, what it meant and all this stuff. So it's good
Not to downplay what's happening in the States, and that would, if you guys fall, that has massive effects on us. But the situation here has historically been a lot more tenuous than yours. You were able to access e-liquid of all types with nicotine of all strengths all over the place. We are very, very restricted. We can't get nicotine in the country. You have to bring it from outside. There's some nebulous wording about how that works. Apparently, we only get 3 months supply, and you're supposed to have prescription. Not that most people do.
Yeah.
it's all a little bit weird here, and we're a little closer to that edge. So with what's going on in the states, things have started ramping up here. They're pointing to what you guys are doing and saying, look what they're doing. We need to take action, even though we don't have the THC carts that you guys have. We
Yeah.
don't have the vitamin E acetate problem that you had. We don't even have nicotine legally available that you have. But they're still trying to clamp it down completely. They're trying to bring it to a close.
Yeah.
So fight here is a little bit different than yours, but we're actually a little bit closer to the edge than you guys are. I mean, this sounds weird. I'm fully against flavor bans, and I don't want to see you guys lose the flavors, and I know how important they are. That said, worst case scenario, flavor ban means you can still get unflavored. Whereas here, the next step is nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. It's a different goal line for them.
And with you guys, with how it's regulated out there, it's kind of like how when our states legalize marijuana medically and stuff like that, it's a lot more bureaucracy than it needs to actually be. And then so usually if like, I speak from my own opinion, is like when it gets that tied up in bureaucracy, it's fucking bullshit because you're working against 5 different people that are supposed to be in charge of this at a government level that are doing a million different things for it. And then they're not going to have the time to dedicate to it.
Yeah, and the problem with bureaucracy is that most people making judgments, passing laws, are not well versed in their subject. We recently appointed a new minister for women's affairs, domestic violence, that stuff. She then turned on to the news, had a conference saying that most women lie.
Oh,
domestic
wow.
violence doesn't exist. They're just lying to get attention.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I people who aren't suited for the position that they're put in, it's just far too common.
And especially with any kind of politics, too. And politics is like, a popularity vote after high school kind of thing. And you don't really have to know what you're doing, but as long as you look good saying whatever the fuck you think you're going to get in there.
Yeah, political appointments mystify me. Sometimes it looks like, to me, like someone was put into a position in order to destroy credibility for that position, such as this woman. I think she was there. She's there for an agenda. Like, there's some reason why she has been put in that position where she's just going to ruin things.
Yeah.
They've got a future plan for when they get rid of her. She's there to lay waste, and then they'll go in and rebuild it the way they want it. It's the only common sense thing I can think of. Give me 1 sec. I gotta turn that light down.
Do your thing. I can entertain the chat. So let's see what we got right here in the chat. Jake says, looking to renting different buildings, offering vape education classes for a couple nights, a few local areas for free, both education about getting into it and against fear. That's a pretty bitchin' idea, but to save you on some personal money, I would suggest if you have shops in your local area that'd be willing to hold a night, like, where you do, like, on, like, whatever night you guys choose. And then, like, have, say, like, the shop sponsor and obviously you don't have to give away nothing, but you can have, like, a meet and greet and talk about stuff and then share information. And then that way you don't have to worry about spending money out of your pocket. And then it also benefits the local brick and mortar in your area to potentially show them new customers.
That's a good point. One thing you might run against is if you're talking about education and you want to show how this works, whatever, you might run into some issues with smoking indoors or vaping indoor laws. I saw something today again. We've seen this a few times. An area in England just passed a law: no smoking and no vaping inside shops or at the front, 9 meters from the front door, etc. So literally, they've shut down all the vape shops, juice bars, and tastings. Nothing going on in there, which just strikes me as idiotic. I mean, if you can't vape inside a vape shop. It's not like kids are hanging out in there. It's not like, someone's walking in and going, "Oh, I'm surrounded by vape. I don't like this." I'm like, why are you in a vape shop?
Yeah.
It's like people who move next door to motorways and then complain about the noise.
Yeah.
Like, don't live next to a motorway if you don't like the noise.
Yeah. You know what you're getting into, especially with anything. Jake says he lives in the boonies. The idea would be to help the areas with almost no market. Gas station carry pods here. So that's fair. And then also, I mean, that's something that you'd have to look into and stuff. But you can also I'm assuming you're in the States. You can, like, if you have like a public area, like a community hall or anything like that, that's open to the public to rent for free because your tax dollars pay for it. So you might have to do something to figure out if you can vape in there. But that would be another approach too. So, like, just, it's great to do something like that. But I'd hate for you to go out of pocket to rent a place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And use what's available for you. That's a lot easier.
I'm wondering if you could consider getting your local council or something and kind of playing with them. Offer to do a presentation to the public and parents and teachers and the council members all about the dangers of vaping and all that sort of stuff. Really spin it. And then when it comes down to it, you literally just teach them how benign it is and how useful it is, and how these things aren't poisonous and that's not poisonous. And if you plan it out carefully, you could really
knock that one out of the park. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty bitchin' idea. And then, like, you could just use like a vague statement to promote it and not even say like, oh, vaping bad. You could be like, oh, the aspects of vaping, but I don't know, something like that. You phrase it the right way. I'm not a poet.
There's a phrase, dosage makes the poison, which we always need to keep in mind because people keep throwing out stuff like, various things that we use may cause cancer or they may cause cell death in cultures or, all this sort of things. And it's always about the dosage. And they say, this chemical will cause cell death. Yeah, if you pour like literally a gallon of it on a single cell, it will die. It'll fucking drown. But if you inhale like 0.7% of a mil over the course of 2 days, it'll have no effect.
Yeah. It's like the whole mercury being in certain like medicines and stuff, but you eat enough of it in shrimp.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy.
Well, that's one of the favorite tricks of the ants is to point out how bad something could be in its worst case scenario, which we never ever could potentially do. You just can't vape that much cinnamaldehyde in one day. Yeah, cinnamaldehyde causes problems if you just pour it down your throat. But
you're not doing that.
Yeah, you can't vape that. You can't vape that stuff.
Drink 5 gallons of water and talk to me about poisons. Exactly. You could, Jake pointed out, you can get water poisoning for drinking too much water. And then if, we were not we, but if the vape industry was trying to kill you, then man, that would suck because now why would they make something new?
Thomas Crow says, I sell sunglasses at my work that have cancer warnings on them. Caution, these sunglasses have been known to cause cancer.
But they block UV rays.
Oh.
And that's the craziest part about it is I won't ever get too crazy into like the politics and stuff because I'll have a million different opinions and it's just never a good time. But the whole Californication of warning labels on anything is just insane because like Legion said, you can point out to where if you use a certain amount of something, but you're never ever going to get to that level with just about anything you do in your day-to-day life.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, okay, I think that the World Health Organization are corrupt. And I think they have it out for us completely. And I believe that their top-end people are all firmly in the pocket of Big Pharma. That said, they have a list of things that they consider to be carcinogenic. This is in there. Coffee is a known carcinogen, according to them. Because if you have enough of it, if you have massive amounts of it, you might develop some cancer. Probably have a fucking heart attack first, but then your corpse, as it's writhing around, will develop cancer. It's considered to be a carcinogen. So anytime someone tells you that the WHO are against nicotine and vaping because it's a carcinogen, just remind them that it's also against your daily beverage. You go to Starbucks 3 times a day, you're probably giving yourself some cancer, according to them.
Yeah. The Starbucks, the energy drinks, any kind of caffeine, anything. And it comes down to like when these people are like talking about this thing about like there being a plethora of flavors and stuff out there. That's another thing that we need to make sure that we argue the point of like out of the million flavors, it's the few that work for you, and it's not the same for everyone. And that's why there needs to be a distribution of flavors, and you shouldn't be limited to finding something are forced into something because they think that it's too much, and that's the biggest argument I'm seeing, is that there's no real argument against the legitimate argument against having so many flavors. Just like it just seems like there's too much. Well, it's not for you, Becky. Don't do it. Not a shout out to Becky Buckwild, but just the average white girl's name.
Where is Becky?
I believe she's working the hospital tonight. She had a flood season out there in Arizona, so.
Becky, if you're watching this on the replay, we miss you.
Yeah.
You should quit your job. Come with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say something. That might be a thought, some way we can fight this with public opinion again. One thing I thought before is that, flavors, everyone likes flavors, and if someone's complaining about the amount of flavors that we have in our industry, just turn it back on them and start questioning the amount of flavors they enjoy in their daily life. I mean, everyone likes a good donut, everyone likes a piece of chocolate after dinner, or a caramel macchiato on the way to work or whatever. Everyone enjoys a variety of flavors in their daily life. And why? You're an adult. You shouldn't have flavors. Make it seem ridiculous that they're complaining about flavors when they enjoy so many flavors. But given the American mentality, something we might want to consider is the concept that reducing flavors might be just a little bit Soviet.
It's definitely
just a little bit. We want to bring it down so you just have one flavor for everyone, because that's good enough. In Soviet Russia, we don't have flavors. We only have tobacco. That kind of mentality. It's like, because you're kind of heading that way when you're restricting freedom of choice.
Yeah.
It's fucking flavor particles on your tongue, and you want to restrict it. It's ridiculous.
And the worst part too about this, everyone being in the internet age and all this stuff, is that everyone thinks their opinion matters when it's regarding to something that has nothing to do with them directly. And if I ever see anyone doing that, I'll call them out on it. Even you guys in the chat, we're all on social media and stuff, because we don't need to make every issue about us. You know what they did back in the day? Oh, I don't like that, but you know what? I'm not going to do it.
Like they always say, if you don't like gay marriage, don't get gay married.
Yeah. Straight people make all the gay people. No.
Fuck up about it.
Oh, man. We got, let's see, right here. Kathy says, barbecue meat well done is a carcinogenic. There you go, right there. Just some meat off the grill. And then I believe Glenn Hefner pointed out ass cancer from the couches of gassing than develop anything from vaping. His tap water is laced with high levels of neurotoxins. And that's the thing, too. Formaldehyde's in just about every product that's ever been made with some kind of petroleum reference. So you're talking about carpets, rugs, anything with some kind of plastic in it. That's where it all comes from. So everything you touch has something that's in it. But it's obviously not over here, eating leather couches and Formica wood. So it's all about the levels of it.
Absolutely. The thing is, we see this a lot in the whole sort of wellness woke world right now, but they keep talking about toxins and detoxifying and things. There's no such thing as a toxin. Toxin is not a property that something has. A level of toxicity is a property that something has. Like you said, five gallons of water, you're fucking toast. 2 glasses a day, you're fine.
Yeah. Too much of being an asshole, you'll get hit in the face. No.
Speak from experience?
Well, a couple times. I did go to high school in the United States with a big mouth.
Broke my nose 7 times.
Oh, man. I've had my head kicked in more times than I can remember.
This behind each and every one.
Labwork says his gaff will cause health issues. I don't doubt that. I'm sure you're a mixed master of the ass as well.
Oh, dear.
And then,
the gas talk.
Yeah. So, I know we didn't get into it too much last week and we skipped out on Friday. Fridays will be back. Chuck is taking a sabbatical, but we have something planned for you guys. It's going to be, I don't know if I'll give away too many details, but it'll be a triple F. So instead of Friday Fallout, it'll be a female Friday Fallout with me, Becky Buckwild, and we will have Raven Shadow. And we're going to give you some slapstick comedy and dumbassness, and you guys are in for a surprise. A couple people in here know what we're talking about, and I think you guys will enjoy it.
If it's Female Friday, you need to wear a couple of coconuts.
I got some chicken. I got some chicken cutlets, the fake boobs, So that'll be cool.
Why do you have those?
My girlfriend had them for 1 year. we did a Halloween where I dressed up like my best friend's girlfriend, and she dressed up like my best friend, and so she was him and I was her. And so when I went and bought those little fake boob things, and I had the whole outfit and the hair and everything, and then she had a blonde wig because he's a blonde guy, and always wears Nike shirts with like Lee's and shit. And so it's pretty good. If I can find some pictures, I'll pull it up. I'll send it over. But you guys are in for a surprise.
A little too much.
Hey man, if you're gonna do something, you better do it right. You gotta grab the. I mean, anyways. So, yeah, actually, I am pregnant, always lost with food babies every day of the week.
Oh, dear.
But, also, I want to get into it. This week, I'll be choosing something for our 300 giveaway. And, it'll be something cool. And then I figured that, because I know we've put it off a little bit, we've been going through some stuff with the group and then everything in the vape world. But I'm assuming that it's going to be okay. I'm going to go ahead and say it now. Next Monday, when we have Adam back and we have Legion and then myself, we may have a Vape Malone back depending on the internet situation. But can't promise. But anyways, we'll do the giveaway next week, and it'll be something worth your time. Because we appreciate you guys. You guys are the ones putting all the work for the channel. You guys blew us up. And so that's why we're making sure, we're going to get something good for you. So
if it is what you mentioned before, you hinted around, and I think it is, then guys, it's worth your while turning in, because it's something you can buy.
It's going to cost me a lot of money to ship it. That's all I'll say.
So jelly.
Legion's actually going to be mad because I know he definitely wants it. Let me see if I can get one sent out for a review.
Might leave the channel just so I can take part in the giveaway and then rejoin.
But it'll definitely be something that's for the more experienced with products too. And then also I want to say this right now: if you've won at least twice before, I'm gonna disqualify you from winning it because we gotta give everyone else a chance. So I think that's only Kathleen Vapors Odyssey. I don't think Odyssey's here tonight, but we got a tab on it, so we'll make sure we want to make it fair so everybody gets a little something. And then we'll also have some new stuff coming in for giveaways, weekly stuff. We've just been consolidating with everything of the channel, getting everyone around personnel, and then also, Adam's been working his ass off to get these coils pumped out for this whole October 1st thing, and then Legion's doing his stuff, and then obviously Chuck's taking his sabbatical, so I'm going to be helping out some more with doing the videos and stuff like this, and I'll be making some cool stuff. I just put this all together in 5 minutes, and like I said, if you were here in the beginning, started without a hitch, so you make sure you give Breeze Tone some shit. But yeah, so we got anything from the chat, you guys? I mean, we didn't really have anything planned, so we just want to make sure and come on and show you guys some love. If you guys were there last Friday when I did the IG live, I was fucking spammered. I was sitting in my backyard wearing my cutoff t-shirt, listening to taking requests on music and stuff. I don't know if you saw that, Legion, but it's pretty goofy.
So Friday nights you're always hammered. Friday night more for you.
Fucking we had the show up, and it's on the IG, so that means anyone could join, And the funny story about that was, it's like random people joining and stuff because they see it on the IG live feeds or whatever. And I had some guy from the Middle East come in and compliment my mustache 4 times, and when I didn't reply, he got mad and left. He's like, "Oh, very nice mustache, bro. Oh, very sexy." And I'm just sitting there laughing, I couldn't repeat it.
Yeah. That's all of it. Vapors Odyssey in the house. We just mentioned you.
Yeah, man.
We'll have to scroll back. All we said was we don't think you're here.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, Odyssey, actually, you don't have to scroll back in the video. I'll let you know now when we do our 300 giveaway, since you've won multiple things, you're going to be disqualified and you'll be disappointed. But, yeah, so also Becky Buckwald joined in last Friday, and that was a fun time. We started talking about old school music, skating rinks, and then hitting on girls when we were both teenagers. I think she had the better stories, though. But, the I Am Vaping series, you got some new stuff coming out this week, man? What do you got going on, Steve?
A little bit slower this week. Just 2 reviews. The Aegis X, which just came out. The Mulan will be the next one. tomorrow, but the next day. Ion vaping, I always kind of leave that to the last minute. I film it on Thursdays for Friday, which means you guys get to see it on your Thursday. So I wait to the last minute and see what really pisses me off or how I feel or whatever. I don't know this week. I've been saying every week that at the end, like, hopefully get some good news next week. And it's just not happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea, no plans yet of what that's going to be. Maybe I'll just sit here and drink for 20 minutes.
Well, we can have you drink another beer. We could do a contest, you know.
Generally takes more than one beer. To be fair, that one was just really fast.
I think it was on Friday. It was when I cleaned up and shut down the stream. I had like 12 bottles and 5 cans sitting on the ground. But you guys know, I'm young and dumb. This is my chance to do it before they gotta start sticking the finger in the prostate.
Something to look forward to.
I gotta ease into it. Jake says,
what shall we talk about today?
Honestly, I don't know. What do you got? You got a story for us, man?
I kind of do. Something I was talking with the wife about. I'm not sure. Always lost. Beth asked if I have a coffee maker in this room. I have a coffee maker about 5 feet that way because that's my kitchen. This used to be the dining room, so yeah, just gonna walk around, fill it up. What was I gonna say? Story. I was talking with the wife earlier, and I'm not sure. Okay, some people might take this story the wrong way, and I'm not sure how well known this is amongst people. It seems to be not that understood. But once upon a time, weed was wild. It just kind of grew around. Nobody would cultivate it. People didn't farm it. There was no grow-ups, and it was pretty weak shit. Literally, like you'd smoke a joint and you'd feel a little bit buzzed. Kind of like having a nicotine buzz, but just a little bit longer. It wasn't really strong stuff. And it was so weak that people wouldn't choose it by choice. It wasn't, there's other drugs you can do, there's alcohol you can do. It was not a popular thing. And so you could buy, like for a dime, you could buy like 2 big garbage bags.
Yeah.
And it was popular sort of as a lightweight thing, kind of like whippets, like bulbs are.
Yeah.
Kind of that way. It was popular amongst those that didn't have a lot of money. It was popular in the jazz scene because it kind of made you feel a little bit looser before you hit the stage, that kind of stuff. It wasn't really a big deal. That's the point I'm making.
Okay.
And then you guys had Prohibition. And 8 years of Prohibition, massive government structure was built to enforce that. The mob grew like crazy. Speakeasy culture grew, and then they dismantled it. And the government kind of looked around and went, well, we have this big police force that we have to do something with. Weed. That's nothing. War on drugs. And boom, right there. That's when everything changed. They passed laws to prohibit weed. They made it popular. They made it attractive by making it illegal. And they started hunting and enforcing this. And since then, I mean, you guys all know weed culture. It's spliced, it's grown, it's become a million times stronger than it ever was. And people are in jail for it. Like I said, up until their 30s, this was nothing.
Yeah.
And they'll spend decades in jail now for possession or for growing. Point is that Prohibition not only created the distribution network and the strength of weed, and all of weed culture rose out of Prohibition, but the whole DEA was created and then supported by this concept that we have to make something illegal so we can use these people. Fucking ridiculous. I'm really hoping that we don't see something similar happen with our industry. And I don't point that out. I think it will. I just find it really, really interesting to look at this thing that it just, like we have common garden variety weeds around all the time that if you smoke them, they'll make you feel a bit weird. They're nothing special. They're around. It just happens to be that weed was the one that was chosen. It's just weird.
And it's
how it's become.
it's insane too, especially like you were saying, government agencies too. A lot of these government agencies that do the like war on drugs and stuff like this, it's common knowledge if anyone does a little bit of research, they confiscate millions and millions of dollars from these people, and then they use it for their budgets for their stuff on top of being paid by taxpayers. And so it's like if they confiscate, say like someone like Pablo Escobar's 13 million or whatever the hell it is, they have 13 million dollars on top of the millions that you're pumping into them from tax dollars. And then where the hell is all that money going? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more or less for them to strong arm the people that they're not getting a cut of to take the whole piece of the pie and then use it against you.
Yeah, it's a weird self-sustaining, self-growing industry on its own. It's a strange thing. You guys, like I said, historically we've always thought prohibition was this period and it ended, but the effects of it, the ramifications of it, are still in our world right now.
Yep. It's still prevalent today, guys. That's why they're doing things like this, and that's why, like, if you guys, just a quick thing, if you're in New Jersey, they're doing the meeting tomorrow. They've already created a task force to go out and stop people from having mods and vape juice and all this stuff. And it's like a SWAT team to go out and attack Billy Bob the Vapor to take their stuff, which is an overreaction and overly aggressive, and if you ask me, abuse of power to do something like that when they could go out and they have known like heroin dealers and stuff like that they could actually pursue people and stuff like that, that can actually be attributed to harming people from fact, and they're actually coming out here to come after you for your osmosis. Like, it's insane.
So let me get it straight. The New Jersey law is not going to just decriminalize sale, but individual possession?
Yeah, so like if I don't remember the exact facts of it, so I can get it after the stream. If anyone wants to know, you can message me and I'll find it for you. But it's actually about like even personal use stuff. So like if you're walking down,
that's a scary thought. I know there's a lot of truckers that
travel.
New Jersey. I mean, that's a major thoroughfare. They go through there. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, and it's insane. And like the California's also got a hearing tomorrow as well. But the governor of California, he's not pro-vaping at all, but I like the stance that he took. He was like, well, as an executive power, we have to make legislation to actually make these bans happen. I don't think that it's in my executive power to actually do that. And of course, they go by state basis. I was on last week with Ruby Roo, and we talked about it a little bit, so we don't obviously know about all the details of it, but it's good to see that someone in power that's actually trying to do something isn't trying to just enforce directly like a dictator. They're actually trying to go about it, at least by the law that is created by the people. Whether or not it benefits the people, that's a different story.
Yeah, I mean, there's supposed to be checks and balances. There's supposed to be a framework, a system with which you create, pass, and then enforce legislation. And this concept that, some dictatorial head of a state can just do what they want because they don't like it.
And that's the craziest part, especially with the Kumo guy in New York and all that shit.
Yeah.
Basically just saying, like, oh, yeah, these are safer than cigarettes, but so what? Like, yeah, I think that's definitely a shot in the foot for, him, and especially with anyone that has any kind of integrity that follows him. It's politics, so I'm not going to give too much leeway to that point of integrity, but, it's good to see that there are people out there, they may not be for us, but they're not necessarily going to use things against us, Yeah. So that's definitely good. We got, let's see, right here. Someone said, Odyssey said he ordered the Osmosis DNA mod. I heard it's a pretty bitchin' piece. I know a lot of people like it. I've had a couple Osmosis mods, and I had the Dominican like everyone's had, and then, what was it? The Luster at one point with a little IR screen thing. That thing was atrocious. I hated using that, but it was a good mod.
That's the thing. I never liked the touch screens that much. And they have a tendency to unlock when you're, like, grabbing them out of your pocket and stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've never had an Osmosis that I didn't like.
Yeah.
Didn't like that function, that feature. You can't actually go to the menu and turn that off if you want.
Good luck getting it. No.
But yeah, the Minikins are awesome. The Minikin 3 rocks. That new one. This one. Single battery little guy. Weird shape.
You said single battery?
Single battery.
And you're banging that thing out with a tank?
Yeah. Actually, no, the tank's just sitting on top. No place to put it where it would stand up.
Yeah.
Needs cleaned, needs rebuilt. I have some breeze cones specifically made for it that I've had for a week. And every 2 days, Adam sends me a message. How's my clothes? Do you like them? I'm like, yeah, I'm really lazy and I got a lot on my mind. I promise I'll get to it.
Yeah, I feel bad because he sent me a whole, like, I think it was a Passage, preloaded cotton coils ready to go with his, and I love the shit out of it. But like I've said on here a million times, I'm too lazy to put builds in and do all that stuff. And then he's like, "Oh, how's it going? How's it going?" And I sent him a picture, and at the time I was vaping some menthol, like it was like chilaxin or something. And like, you know, the color is there on the things. Like, oh, you need to change your stuff. I'm like, oh, it's just color the juice. And so if you guys ever send a picture of your coils to Adam where your cotton's not pure white, it makes them itch. So make sure you guys do that.
I will keep that in mind. That's very useful ammunition. Just looking. Oh, there they are. Just got some random stickers turned up the other day.
You got the package? It came quick.
Yeah.
So if you guys didn't know, Legion was on the local vape show with me doing the live stream a couple weeks ago, and his lady is a big proponent of Atom Bomb, enjoys Atom Bomb, and so as a thank you, I sent Adam some Legion some bottles of juice and some of those stickers. Those stickers are actually pretty bitchin', man. The portrait one.
Yeah.
I like that sticker a lot.
Atom Bomb's got the nicest graphics. There's no way you can say that they are child appealing in any way, but they're just stylish. They're just classy.
Yeah.
I really love their graphics.
Art Day Gustavo on Instagram, he made them, and he's also a big proponent in the Latin community as arts and culture stuff. So if you guys haven't checked them out, it's definitely worth checking out. But yeah, those were custom bottles. Erica got put together and stuff like that, and beautiful bottles. Like that branding, you can't beat it. It's been untouched for years, and it's still timeless.
Yeah, it's not dated at all. It's just nice, just nice work.
So we got in the chat, we should all retweet the statement on a daily basis, get on their nerves. It says ID Voca Thomas Crow. Jingle says his double barrel V2 decided to come back to life. Nice, man. And then Always Lost has been adding Dr. Oz to his tweets. And that's another thing, too, is like when you guys do the Twitter stuff, you're definitely getting more contact than you would and just about any other social media platform. And someone like Dr. Oz would be great to have as a proponent, because I think he did the thing a while back. I don't remember all the details, so I won't act like I do. But he has a huge following, a lot of people, and he's more of the open-minded people that do stuff like that. So definitely keep up the work with stuff like that.
I have a very different opinion of Dr. Oz.
I'm not going to say I agree with everything on there. I've also seen times on the show where he'd have like belly wraps with saran wrap and all that stuff promoting it. But then again, it's still a mainstream source that he's not a vapor, so I don't know if like it would necessarily be about the fact of his credibility, but more or less of his reach.
He will only change his money if you write him a big enough, or his mind if you write him a big enough check.
That's fair.
He's a charlatan and a shill. And yes, he's very anti-vaping right now.
Okay, so I didn't know all that. But then again, if I'm at home during the day on a weekday, I'd rather watch Maury. So.
Yeah.
You ain't the daddy. No.
So what have you been watching besides Maury?
Oh, man, I actually, I don't get to watch Maury anymore. Good night, Odyssey. Man, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. As far as TV shows go, I usually watch the same things over and over, but I'm just about to finish Breaking Bad for the 10th time.
Yeah, I've been trying to get the wife to watch that since it ended. And,
so like 8 years.
Yeah, we're getting there. I've seen it like 2 or 3 times now, but it's about time for another rewatch. We're watching the OA right now, which is interesting. It's cool, but kind of not looking forward to the end of the season because I know it was 2 seasons and it was canceled, and it was created as a 5-season arc. So I'm gonna get high point and then go, what happened? Where did it go now?
Yeah. And that's my thing too with like trying to watch new TV shows. I just can't get into them. I heard Raven says Crystal Age of Resistance. I've never even heard of that. Glenn says he's binging The Office. That's an amazing series. I actually just finished that one again.
Jangles, are you watching the past season of U.S. Shameless or the U.K. Shameless?
Ooh, I didn't know there was two.
And whichever one you're watching, I recommend you watch the other one as well. They're both really good. It's awesome. I think of them kind of like in comic books where they have like alternate universe versions of each other. I think of them like that. These are two different universes that are similar. They go off in weird different directions. Shameless is just, it's one of my absolute favorite shows.
I've heard great things. I've been told to watch it like by all my friends. I just, like I said, it's hard for me to get into a new show, root into it, and if it's a testament to it, if anyone knows the NCR flag in the back, that's from a video game that came out in 2010 that I still play. So, you know, new stuff isn't really my vibe. Let's see, and then past season of Shameless. Jake says Eastbound and Down. I've watched like the first 2 seasons. It's a great show. I don't know if I would ever say I'd have a recommendation. What would you say you'd recommend as a good show besides the ones that we've already talked about?
I watch far too many shows. Well, I've mentioned a couple of them, like Shameless, not the OA, other version of Shameless. I watch a lot of weird science fiction stuff. If you get a chance, actually, you can find this on YouTube. If you're a fan of science fiction, and if you're a fan of Star Trek, there was an absolutely brilliant show that came out in the late 70s, early 80s in the UK called Blake 7. And it's kind of like the inverse version of Star Trek in that there's a federation, but they're evil and totalitarian, and they want to control everyone. And so Blake is this guy who breaks out, steals an advanced ship, and runs around being a freedom fighter. The best part of it is he gets killed at the end of like season 1 or season 2, and they go on for like 7 more seasons without him. But yeah, awesome, cheap, shitty effects, cheap costumes, everything's badly filmed, but an awesome show. Stranger Things, of course. We're all old. We all want to live back in the 80s, and Stranger Things is awesome.
Oh, man, I get so much shit for it, but I've never started it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Homework. Do it now.
All right, I'll put it on the screen grab. No. But it's definitely something I need to check out. I know that's supposed to be a fucking great show. And then we got Thomas Crow, or excuse me, was it Thomas Crow? Yeah, Thomas Crow said John Wick 3. And that's another series I haven't watched yet. I heard it's pretty bitchin'.
I haven't seen any of them. Not a single one.
I know that they kill his dog and then he goes crazy. And so I'm all about that. You know, if you guys don't know, I've got 2 dogs. That's are my kids.
You're all about dog killing?
No. Oh, my God. So, have a good night. No. No, but I haven't seen that one yet. And then...
I find myself in a strange position because the Disney streaming is coming.
Yeah.
And I couldn't give a fuck about Disney shows. I don't really want to watch The Lion King again. I had nieces. I had to endure all those when I was young. But Marvel.
And that's another thing I think is crazy that they're doing that whole like standalone service stuff. I get, you know, for me, obviously it's for a cash grab. But there's not enough stuff to sustain me justifying it. And then I think they have it to where you got to pay for a whole year up front. I'm like, are you...
See, I'll have to do it because I've been a Marvel fan since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. I love Marvel. I watch every single movie. I have the subscription. I read every comic when they come out on the phone. Just, it's a horrible thing. Monday night is when the new comics are released. Monday night, I'm uploading, so my internet is shit.
And you're trying to catch up on it?
I'm like waiting for each page to slowly load. Fuck it, I'll read it tomorrow. Damn. But yeah, so I have to get Disney. But I don't understand. They have so much money. I don't understand why they didn't just buy Netflix.
Yeah, and
and fold all their stuff into it and still have the other stuff and have like a big destination, bump up the price, everyone's happy.
Yeah, because
You
there's no
know,
way I'm paying for a Disney service. I mean, I'm using my roommate's fucking Netflix because I won't pay for that because it's not that great, and then I pay for Hulu. That's about it, and that's only because they didn't have the shows that Netflix had.
well, that's the way it goes. You start with Netflix and you're like, oh, so many shows, and you watch about half of them, and then you're sitting there one night going, click. What do I want? What do you want to watch, hon? I don't know. Let's go through it. And you're like, what about that show that we really wanted to watch that we talked about last week? You go online, you find out that's a different service.
Yep.
Only $8 a month, baby. Okay, now we got two. And then a couple weeks later, you go, hey, that new Agents of Shield is out. What's that on? Oh, fuck that. That's on the other one. Those are only $13 a month, honey. Okay, now we got three.
Next thing you know, you're paying just as much as premium cable or satellite. Shout out to T Getz joining the chat.
Always lost. You have perfect taste. Absolutely. Firefly, Joss Whedon is brilliant. Lost Girl, fuck, that is such an amazing show. I loved Lost Girl. I love the fact that they went an angle that you'd never see it on broadcast TV. If you guys haven't watched it, Lost Girl is one of those modern day world where fairies and shit live amongst us, and there's a hidden world underneath. Except the main character, I won't get into all the stuff about her, but she's a succubus. So she's very powerful, but she's only powerful because she fucks people. So every now and then she's just got to go off and recharge a little bit. And, recharge. Fuel up. Yeah, it's an awesome show. Lucifer.
I've actually watched that with Delane. It's pretty good.
It's pretty cool. Lucifer is based on a comic character that was written by Neil Gaiman, and Neil Gaiman did Sandman, and so the character was there. And there were some spin-offs. The show is good, but it's nothing like the comic version, which was just deeper and darker and dirtier.
Yeah.
The TV show is pretty lightweight. I watch it and it's fun, but it's like watching an 80s show. It's an 80s show starring the devil.
It's sitcom-y.
If you want to watch, you ask for recommendations. Preacher.
I've heard Preacher was good.
Preacher is fucking phenomenal. It's just Firefly.
It was a spin-off of wasn't it? I can't remember. And I got a buddy I play Xbox with. He comes down every year for New Year's, and he's all about Firefly. I think it's a
Firefly. It's people in space.
Yeah.
It is done by Joss Whedon. It was like a season and a bit, and then maybe a movie. I think they did a movie.
I think they had a movie. I will say this: I'm surprised no one said it, and maybe it's just my bad taste. If it's bad taste, but Stargate is on Hulu. And Stargate, man, that was a bitchin' series and the movie and all that stuff.
So which is your favorite Stargate?
Stargate 1, SG-1 is my favorite, man, the first movie.
Oh, you're talking the movies or the series?
Oh, as far as series goes, I couldn't tell you too much about it. I did watch it when I was younger because it was on local TV. But I definitely know more about the movie that I remember than I did the series.
Stargate, the movie, SG-1... Stargate Atlantis, all really good. Actually, a couple years ago, we sat and binged in order the whole thing. Stargate Universe was awesome because they broke the mold. They broke away from the Stargate formula, Adventure of the Week, and it was basically kind of like it was like a cross between Voyager and Battlestar Galactica.
Oh wow.
A whole bunch of people go through a Stargate and end up on this massive derelict ship that's just huge, and it's just going. It's just, they can't control it, it's just going, and they can't get back. So it's just this team stuck on a ship, just fucking going.
That's pretty cool.
Figure out how to control the ship, how to feed themselves, and how to get back. So a little bit of Voyager, but very dark and gritty. It lasted about a season and a half, and then they canceled it. Because all the people who liked Stargate...
They lost their original fan base.
Yeah, the people who liked the old stuff didn't like the new stuff. The people who would like the new stuff went, oh, it's Stargate, I'm not watching that. Stargate was a good show.
The Tick Begins is joined in. Welcome in. You didn't miss much. We're over here just, bullshitting, having a good time. Talk about TV show recommendations right now. And then, actually, I'm going to leave it to Legion to entertain you guys while I take a Vandal break.
Okay. Ask me a question, guys. Because I have nothing to say. So let's you ask me a Quantum Leap. Who's okay? Who's okay? Wasn't great. Nobody's asking questions. I have nothing to say. If you don't ask questions, I'm just going to sit here and stare at you. Never watched The Wire, so I have no comments on that. Glenn Hefner says, Firefly had just the perfect amount of Nathan Fillion to keep me interested. In my opinion, he's like the knockoff Kevin Sorbo of the world. Kevin Sorbo's a bit of a disappointment, isn't he? He was really, really funny in Hercules, and then he just got weird. I feel very unsteady right now. It's just me, you, and the camera, and nobody's asking me. What's the deal with Tim Tams? Tim Tams are awesome.
I don't even know what a Tim Tam is.
Tim Tam is a chocolate wafer, 2 chocolate wafers with a cream filling and a chocolate coating on the outside. It's a nice little Aussie chocolate biscuit. They're really, really nice. And you bite the ends off, and you dip one end in your coffee, and you suck the coffee right through. And the inside gets all soggy, and your coffee gets all chocolatey, and then you throw the whole thing in your mouth and go, yum. It's called a Tim Tam Slam.
Okay. I totally forgot to do my boomerang, and it's very vapey in here, guys.
Jane Goals wants to know if I've watched Sons of Anarchy. I have not, because I'm waiting for the right time. I want to watch it.
That's a show I will personally attest to. It took me forever to get into, but once I did, I watched it 5 times over.
I want to watch it. I want to binge it. I want to do so with the wife. I don't think she has any interest in it, so we're going to try to figure that out. But yeah, it's just one of those shows that just appeals to me.
It was a great story and everything they did about it. I know that there was originally a book about it, and if you expect me to read a book, then you're like out of pocket. But I did enjoy the series very much. It was a very good series. It definitely pulled on the heartstrings a lot with a lot of the episodes. There's some episodes that I can't watch again. I will skip. I get emotional, guys.
After all.
Doing the obligatory boomerang.
T-Crow says something weird. He says he started watching Sons of Anarchy because everyone kept telling him he looked like Bobby. Not having seen it, I don't know what Bobby looks like. I know what T-Crow looks like.
Close.
I keep getting comments on my channel saying that I look like Bobby from Supernatural.
I can see it.
Again, I think I've only watched like a season and a half of Supernatural because, I don't know, better things to watch, like Smallville. I'm so upset. I lived in Vancouver when Smallville was being filmed.
And you didn't know about it?
And I knew about it, and I didn't watch for a while, and then I BitTorrented like 7 seasons. During my marriage breakup, I watched a lot of shows. My first wife, well, I just locked myself in the room and just binge watch stuff. And so, TMI, I guess. So yeah, I binge watched all the way through, and there was one girl. She's totally hot. Totally had a massive crush on her. She was just, I would just do anything for her. I would eat her ass. Anyway.
Legion, ladies and gentlemen.
Show ends. I come to Australia. And I'm not in the town where it's being filmed anymore. And what do I hear? That apparently there was a sex cult in Vancouver.
She was a part of?
She was part of it. And now the government's... I'm like, I could have been part of that. I could have joined the sex cult. I could have eaten her ass. Opportunity missed. I could have been there. As I tell you this, I want you to remember, I'm completely sober.
Yeah, you guys, Legion's the one that's not drinking. I'm the one drinking. Cheers if you are. And cheers to eating ass, as Legion would say. It's funny you say
Anyone
that.
wants to know if I've seen Bad Blood? Never heard of it. Seen Corner Gas? Haven't seen Bad Blood.
It's funny you said that though about it being there and you didn't never go like take a part of it. Obviously, it's not the same thing as an ass-eating cult, but living in Las Vegas, it's a pretty big destination for a lot of people. And then I've noticed these models and stuff that I think are pretty like bitching that I want to work with and stuff. And they're in Las Vegas, and I'm always like, would it be weird to be like on their stories, like, hey, I'm in Vegas, can I say hi? And then the next thing you know, I'm on a watch list.
Yeah, you've got to watch out. There's big news this week. This one vape model, not vape model, not vape, no vape. She's Instagram celebrity influencer model. Girls who show their tits on the internet. And her mom's been her manager for the last 3 years. She's dating this other guy who's a male influencer, etc. Yeah, it comes out that she's 15 this year. She was like 12 when she started.
Oh.
Her dad came out saying, well, look, I'm not down with this. I've been trying to get them to stop. I don't agree with this. Mom's like, she does what she wants. I don't force her to do anything. It's like, yeah.
She doesn't know any better.
Lingerie and pose for the internet.
Yeah.
A little bit of encouragement.
I don't care who you are, if you're an attractive woman, not even an attractive woman, if you're a woman on the internet and see it through clothes, guys aren't like, oh, that would be a cool poster in my garage. They were saving it to their phones for gross stuff, especially if you're a child, so that's gross.
I don't care who you are, even if your child says they're doing it for their own reasons. They're your child and they're 12. You're in charge. Don't let them vape. Don't let them be hoes.
Or else you just turn out like me. I used to be cute, and now I was a hoe, and now I'm on here doing vape stuff with Legion now. Thomas Crow says, he used to watch Corner Gas, is pretty good. Glenn Hefner asks if you heard about Letterkenny being aired in Australia soon.
I did not know that. They should bring them down and film a special.
They were talking about doing some Australian thing. I don't know if it was like just promo for the fact that they're going to be in that market. But Letterkenny is bitch and show. If any of you guys haven't seen it yet, I believe it's Netflix it's on. Or I think. And oh my god, it's so good and it's funny. And it's more about like, it's Canadian based. So it's a little different than what a lot of people are used to. Because I don't think we have too many Canadian people in here besides Legion. So. But when I do my Xbox Live parties, all my friends, like 90% of them are all Canadian. So I usually get a little bit of the culture. I like to make fun of them because poutine's a big thing there. Someone's like, oh, let's go to Taco Bell, get us some poutine fries and a taco. Oh, it sounds great. Stuff like that. It's got a little bit of Irish. I'm bad at accents, guys. Glenn Hefner verified it's on Hulu. But yeah, and then so that's a bitchin' show if you guys haven't seen it.
Letterkenny is definitely... See, we have this thing. We come up with shows that are bland as white bread. We have the occasional thing that is just brilliant. And then we have these things that are just... They break your mind. Letterkenny's kind of like one of those. It's just... It's over there. Kind of like Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
I mean, when that came out, nobody had done stuff. That was just a weird show. Weird stuff.
I know a lot of people like it. Unpopular opinion. I wasn't the biggest fan of Trailer Park Boys. Me. There's some funny stuff, but yeah, it was not something I look forward to watching.
I can take it or leave it. I think it's funny, but it's not exactly my taste. I think probably because those aren't TV characters to me. I've met them all. I've met them all in real life. I've met people like that, and it's kind of more sad than funny because these people really do exist. This is not a joke.
I definitely like the fact that they play true to the social groups and the different standings they have in Letterkenny, especially from the goth ravers, because that's exactly what even in the States the goth kids are, or at least the people that still do it outside of high school. Tech Begin says, I need to apologize for Avril Lavigne, Bryan Adams, and Celine Dion. I can agree with two of those, but if you ever talk ill about Avril Lavigne again, I will ban you. Glenn Hefner's throwing in his hat for Celine Dion. There's some songs that you can never forget if you were a kid in the 90s, so I won't talk too much shit about Celine. But then again, would I pay to see her? No, and she lived here for the longest time.
I would pay to put a bag over her head. Not a bag over her head and then fuck her. Just a bag over her head and then push her away. She is one ugly bitch.
The chick begin says he'd eat her ass, but promises if she only promises to never sing again. I mean, we could probably start a GoFundMe for that. Thomas Crow says, what about Justin Bieber? Yeah, man, if you're going to throw names out there, you're not going to include the Biebs. You know? I'm just saying. Bryan Adams looks like Butthead to me from Beavis and Butthead, sure, but Bieber, man, I just want to punch that guy in the face.
I've mixed feelings about him. He's awful, horrible, tacky shit. But he's a fucking billionaire since he was like this big. So, what do you expect him to be? Of course, he's a horrible person.
He has no idea.
He has Michael Jackson syndrome. He'll never be a real person.
Yeah.
There's no way he's ever going to have a real life.
He was discovered at like age 12 by Usher on YouTube, and since then has been on mainstream media. So, you got to give some credit to where credit's due. You can't expect these people to be normal. You don't have to like them.
In answer to Always Lost, it depends how you masturbate.
Masturbation flavor profile is ass. Oh, wow. And then, so if you're going to talk about any Canadian, please leave Avril Lavigne out of your mouth. I'm just saying. You can't deny. So I'm 32 years old, guys, born in 86. I was a teenager around the time when she became popular. I'm not saying that her music held any kind of content, but there's no fucking way, like a Fergie song talking about her humps, that you would ever forget it. And you know that it hits different generations because Legion laughed at that.
Yeah. The thing is, you got to admit, I mean, it's been pointed out here, a majority of America's greatest stars since the 60s.
Canadians.
Came from us. Came from Canada. Captain Kirk. Lauren Green. I can't think of any others. But there are others. There's more. There's only two I remember because I'm old.
Even so, the biggest... I know a lot of people in here aren't too big on the hip-hop side, but Drake is the biggest artist right now of hip-hop music, and he is a product of Canada, even being a part of your teenage novellas. So...
Yeah. The graduate of Degrassi High.
Yep. And then Kathy says 86 with question marks. Yes, I was born in 86. I know I'm still a kid compared to some people, but...
You were born in 86?
Yes, sir.
I have a son your age.
Wow. Okay, Dad.
Actually, no. He's 2 years younger than you.
There you go.
I lost my virginity when you were born.
That's a story I'll get into when I'm more drunk.
Same here. It'll take a few more beers for that story.
Glenn says she was alright till she married Chad Kroeger. That's fair. But then again, you being another fellow white person, you cannot deny that when you've had a couple beers on you and the song Rockstar by Nickelback comes on, you don't vibe with it. I don't care who you are. You're lying to yourself if you say that. Let's do it, Daniel. It hits on. You're gonna sing it, at least internally.
No.
Steve,
I never even listen. I turn it off.
Steve disagrees, but then again, Steve also grew up pretty scum punk, so. Glenn says, hard no, man. I thought you was my battle buddy. Man, what's up with that one? By the way,
Circle Jerks come on, I'll start singing along. Henry Rollins comes on, I'll start singing along. The Damned come on, I'll start singing along. Nickelback, I'll just leave. Straight up leave.
To be fair, though, any public place besides Fremont Street in Vegas, which caters to your average Midwestern American person, you don't ever hear it anywhere. And if you do, you're probably in like a really bad gay bar. Chick says, shotgun a couple beers and hear that virgin story. Now we'll save that for next time.
All I can say is that she was a 23-year-old schizophrenic lesbian from Melbourne. That's it.
That's just a full package as it is. That's like a burger with all the sides.
Yeah. I was very busy for a couple of weeks there.
I mean, depending on how long Legion wants to stay here, I guess I could tell you guys the story. It's not flattering in the least bit, but...
Those are the best stories.
Alright, let me get another beer out of my bag.
To do that, I'm going to fill this.
Yeah, do your thing. So, guys, we usually save the stories for, the Friday stuff because it's more slapstick, but, me and Legion want to come on here and make sure you guys having a good time. That was just enough clues for terrible fan fiction to pop up in your comments. Yeah, that's very fair. And T gets, no, unfortunately for my cousin, it was not her. We already told that story. By the way, I was thinking, maybe if I ever traveled back to the East Coast and visited my mom's family just to see, VH1 Where Are They Now? And then see, all the weird inbred kids that they have with, 3 eyeballs. But, that would be a lot of work. But I'll wait for Legion to get back to tell my story. It's not even that great of a story, but it's kind of crazy, kind of funny. You feel ancient now. Why do you feel ancient? Always lost. It's not about the number. It's about your personality and your character. And I just got a weird accent out of nowhere, so I apologize. Have an old soul. An old soul means that you lost your serotonin early in life. So... T-Crow, I sympathize with you on that one. Oh, man. But yeah, thanks for coming by, guys. If any of you guys are new to the chat, didn't see the earlier stuff, Adam's out getting his face worked on. As far as now, Chuck's on sabbatical, so we won't see him anytime soon. But Friday Fallout will be back this Friday with special guest Becky Buckwild and Miss Raven. And we will be live, and it's going to be a treat. So, we'll throw it out there. That accent sounded sexy. I don't even know what accent I was doing at that point, let's be honest. If it makes you feel any better, Glenn was born in 94. Wow, man, you're even younger than my girlfriend.
What I miss?
Just filling in everybody on, what's going to happen on Friday, and then that's about it. Nothing good. Nothing good.
You're going to tell a story.
All right, so yeah, let's get into this. So I was a little bit of a late bloomer in life, and let's see, I was the year was probably 2006, maybe 2007, right after high school. Anyways, I was living in the East Coast with my parents, or my mom and stepdad. Terrible place. That's a deep emotional story. I'll get breeze tones when it rains, and I'll tell you on a story, but I ended up buying a Greyhound bus ticket back to the Las Vegas on my own. And then I was 16 years old, moved back to Vegas, moved in with a friend. And I had to go look for a job, right? So we had this house together. He was a little bit older than me. He put in his name, and I had to pay rent. So I go around Office Depot, Office Max, all these chain stores, retail shops, in these little shopping centers, putting applications. There's this place called It's a Pets World. It was a doggy daycare that had a vet that would come in every few often days and also do grooming and then boarding. And so I put an application there just because, I hit everything you could. And they were the first ones to call me back, hey, we just need someone to clean up the shit off the floors, basically. And of course, with me having nothing else going on, I was yeah, I took it instantly. And then I got called the next day from Office Max for a management position, and I should have took it. Anyways, so I'm working at this dog place, and I work my way up from cleaning the shit in the stalls to being a handler, and then to doing this little vet tech kind of program thing. The chick that we had come in, she was a certified vet, and then she was also able to train you. I don't know if it was legal or anything, but I was getting taught how to give dogs insulin shots if they were diabetic dogs, because that's an actual thing. To administering medicine, cutting nails, all this crazy stuff. So anyways, while I was working at this place, there's this girl, and I believe her name was Amy, and I feel bad for not remembering it now because this is a story I tell sometimes. And then, no, it's not going to get that weird, Tick. So, I was working at this place, and we had these girls that would come in on the weekend just to wash dogs. That was it. That's all they had to do. They'd come in, we had the little booths. People bring their dogs in for a wash. They'd wash them, and then like either I'd groom them or the other person would groom them, and do all this stuff. But she was kind of cute, redhead. We talked about this on the stream with Chuck one time, you know. So shout out to Legion, and she seemed a little weird, a little shy, a little quiet, you know. And I was like, all right, whatever, blah blah blah. So I did the smooth thing where you like, in passing, you like I go grab the dog from her, I would like make a joke, something, compliment her outfit or her hair or something, skis and smeezing. So, anyways, there was one weekend. This was like after like 6 months of her being there and me being there for probably about a year. It was just me and her working. So we had a couple dogs come in. They had to be washed and stuff like that. And she'd give them to me. And I was a key holder manager, so I was able to lock everything up. So at the end of the day, I lived around. So like this is the corner where the place was, and then right around here inside this little next neighborhood, it was like literally a block away. It was my neighborhood where I lived in my house. So I was like, hey, like blah blah. I'm getting out of work, and this is back when this was cool. I was like, I got a hookah. You want to come over? I got some wine coolers. And so, of course, like I could tell, like, it was in the bag. We were flirting with each other. So I was like, all right, cool. So I go back to my house, and I had like a futon, because that's what every teenage guy has in America, coming up. If you didn't have a futon, then you're probably privileged. And so, anyways, go to my room. We had a futon. I had that old-ass big screen TV that had the back end that was that deep, It looked like shit when you looked at it from a different angle. And so I put on like some cheesy ass movie or something, with a little, or actually I put on music with that little Xbox equalizer thing. So it looked all stupid. And I light up the hookah, I'm like, oh yeah, the Starburst Peach. This sounds good, right? Blah, blah. She's like, yeah, it's great. So dumb. Go into the kitchen, grab the wine coolers, a couple of the, I can't remember, but the Smirnoffs. And so we're sitting there, bullshitting, just kind of flirting back and forth. And, things start to get hot and heavy. So we can go to, like, start making out and stuff like that. And I was like, on the floor watching the TV, I was like, shall we move this to my futon? So, of course, we moved over to the futon. And it's, like I said, it was my first time, like, sexual intercourse with a chick. So I of course, then the internet was a thing. So, of course, you see stuff on TV you think is, like, how it goes. But if anyone here is watching that's a virgin, everyone, you're probably too young to be watching this. Number two, you're probably too old to not know this. You think that you know what you're doing. You don't. You just don't. So you go in and so we're fooling around. And the most disappointing part, and this isn't me trying to be a dick, but, I go, she looked like she had some bigger boobs, So I go and I did the bra thing, popped the bra off, and it was like pancakes. I was like, aw, man, but whatever, I'm in it to win it. I'm already here.
Boobs are boobs.
Yeah, boobs is boobs. You can put them in your mouth either way. So, anyways, we're fooling around, and so, we started doing this stuff. Of course, you start out with the good old, old-fashioned white people missionary thing. And, it wasn't a thing of performance. It was more of a fact of nervousness of being the first time. And so, we did the motions. We did it, and stuff like that. But I didn't climax, We didn't hit the end of the show. We didn't hit the end of the road. But I said I did because I felt awkward and stuff like that, whatever, blah, blah. And this chick, she didn't drive, but she lived up the street. Her little brother came and picked her up in the parents' car. I was like, all right, cool, it's, we're not dating. It's just like, a hook her up thing, whatever, blah. So the next weekend at work, oh my God, brings me like a 3-course meal for lunch, brings me all these flowers, and then brings me all this crazy stuff. And I will attest to this, that she was an artist. She used to draw comics and stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. But then again, when a psycho person is really good at something, it's scary. And it's not just psycho because, she was the first girlfriend. We'll get into that. So anyways, I try to play it off casual, as an experience, as like a one-time thing, blah, blah, we'll still be friends. But it made it super weird at work and stuff like that. And so, obviously I distanced myself. I was also a younger dude, so I probably wasn't the nicest guy around. So anyways, it goes on for 2 weeks, and then she sends me, and I don't know if you guys remember AIM and AOL Instant Messenger, and AIM saying, oh, we need to talk. And I'm not stupid. I know what that means. We had sex, so obviously you're going to try and think that, blah, blah, blah. This happens. So I was like, oh my God, what's going on? She's like, oh, I just need you to meet me at my house, blah, blah. And there's a couple blocks up the road, so I walked over there. I didn't drive. I still don't like to drive. And so I walked over to her house with my buddy Brian, because I was like, dude, this girl's kind of crazy, so I just need some kind of backup, some kind of witness in case she does something stupid. And so we walked to her house. She's like, oh, you brought your friend. I thought we were going to talk privately. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's my buddy. He's fine. He ain't going to hear nothing. So she's like, oh, my God, I'm pregnant. And I was like, oh, okay. And then with the previous knowledge I told you guys where I didn't come to the point of finishing, I was like, all right, so I know you're full of shit. And I was like, all right, cool. I just got my paycheck. I was like, let's walk up to the Kmart that's right up the street. It's like a couple blocks up, and then let's go get a pregnancy test. And she was like, "Bleh," like, oh, what the fuck? Like, expected me to probably be like, oh my God, I love you so much. Let's be together forever. So anyways, we have me, her, and my buddy Brian started walking up to this Kmart, and in Las Vegas, it's a bunch of suburbs, right? And it's brick walls that surround the outside edge of every suburb. And so we're walking up the street, and she starts rubbing her knuckles and scratching them on the walls, like messing up her hands, like where she's drawing blood. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, oh my gosh. She's like, I don't know, I'm just really stressed out, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go to jail because this chick's going to say something. So anyways, we make it to the Kmart. We go in, find the pregnancy test thing, blah, blah. Hit the register and buy it. And, like, she was very awkward. And so the cashier was looking at us awkwardly, two guys with a chick with fucked up knuckles buying a pregnancy test. And so, like, we go up there. And then in the bathroom, and this is when I was, like, brazen, I was like, all right, cool. We'll go in the handicapped family bathroom, and you're going to take it right in front of me. And so I was like, oh, okay. She's like, whatever. So we go in the bathroom together, and not even 2 seconds later, Kmart security was banging on the door, 86 dust, blah, blah, blah. She was able to get the one test knocked out. And I was like, all right, so next time you're at work, bring the second test. And I was like, blah, blah, we'll figure it out. So there's the next weekend at work is a couple days later. I go in, and I was like, leave it in your purse, and I'll check your purse. So the two tests were in there, and they were negative, but she drew me like this caricature of me and her in a car. It's like crazy times ahead. Let's do it together. And like she obviously wanted me to take it. I was like, ew, this is weird. Left it in there, wrapped it up in the pregnancy test later, and then 2 weeks later, I fired her.
Okay.
So yeah, there's my first time, guys.
So you fired her. Did she just go away?
No, she stalked me on social media. That was when MySpace was really popping and stuff like that. And it was kind of creepy. And then I actually didn't fire her because she was weird to me, but I was in the management position and she was not doing that great at work, and I probably was influenced by the situation between us. But then again, like, you just can't let it influence your work. So, yeah, so that happened. And then she ended up stalking me on some social media stuff for a little while. I would have her little brother try to call me to hang out because he would come in and help out every once in a while. He was like 15, 16, and he would like clean the pins for us sometimes and stuff like that. And he'd be like, oh, hey, Chris, what's going on? Let's hang out. And I'm like, nah, dude, I'm not fucking stupid. It's your sister trying to hang out. What would I have to do with you? You still play Magic. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, guys, so I really hope you guys enjoyed that because I didn't think it was as exciting when I've told it the 10,000th time, but it looks like with the laugh reacts, we're getting a good reaction out of it.
Well, since you shared, I will share mine. So this goes back to when I was 16. I had just moved to Australia.
Okay.
For a few months. And I lived in Sydney. I lived right on the edge of the map. Literally, like, butt-fuck nowhere. Where we lived, my stepfather worked for the water board, and the water board had a street with 6 houses that backed onto a sewage plant. So that's where we lived, and it was in the middle of an industrial area.
Okay.
So, fucking nowhere, right? And so, any chance I would get some money. I'd go into town, right CBD. It was an hour and a half train ride to get all the way downtown. And when I first got there, I must have been creepy as fuck. 16-year-old little punk rocker walked around. Anytime I saw someone who looked vaguely punk, I'd just follow them.
Yeah.
Because I'll just follow you, and eventually I'll know where to go. If I follow all the punk people, then I'll know where the cool shops are and where the areas to be are, and I'll figure it out. It'll happen in time. So it must have creeped a bunch of people out. But eventually I made a couple of friends downtown, and I stumbled on a socialist party.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they had a headquarters, and they had a youth wing, and they were recruiting, and I hung out with them a lot because, despite what people think, there's some good ideas there. And I was attracted to the whole thing, and I hung out with them for a month or so, and then I kind of just moved in with them. There was a house with a bunch of people that worked for the party, and it was a shit house. It was $90 a week, $90 a month. Horrible shit house.
Yeah.
Falling apart place, right? But it was a place. It was in the city, and I didn't have to go home. And I was 16. I had given up school and whatever. So I made arrangements with them to move in, and that's what happened. I moved in. And the day I moved in, I found out that someone else had made arrangements to move in too. But the problem is there was only one room.
Bunk beds.
And so she moved in, and I moved in, and all our stuff's in the hallway. And the people that already lived there just kind of, you guys will figure it out. And they left. And so we're just kind of sitting there on the couch. Okay. And so we sit there, and we talk, and we hang out, and I had some tea, I think, and it got dark, and nobody came home, and she says, well, I'm going to bed. And I go, well, I guess that means the room's yours. I'll sleep on the couch then. And she goes through, and then a minute later, she comes back, she goes, you coming? I'm like, me? Yes, I'm good again. Yes. Cute, weird, off, bizarre chick. So I followed her through, and of course, yeah, we did the deed, and unlike Chris here, I managed to achieve the full journey. And that was that. We shared the room. She was now my girlfriend. Boom.
Yeah.
Didn't find out till later that she was 23.
Yeah, and you were saying what, like 16?
16.
Yeah.
It took a day or two before I found out she was 16, or she was 23. And we were there for a while. And there's a band that was playing, and I had found this band with a friend, and they were just awesome, amazing band, and I had just discovered them literally like 2 weeks before, and they announced their final ever show.
So of course you gotta go.
Oh, fuck, I gotta go, right? Not only that, it's only 2 blocks from my house. The warehouse party. Fucking have to go. My friend comes over after, she doesn't want to go. I'm like, okay, that's fine. You stay here, we're going. And she's at the door pulling at me. No, you gotta stay with me.
Oh no.
Okay. Clingy bitch, get off. And we go, and she eventually decides to come, and she's all grumpy and doesn't want to enjoy the show. She doesn't want to be there. I'm just like, only happens once, just be normal. and she eventually left. And I'm like, okay, fine, I can relax and enjoy the show. And we go back, and she's sitting there drawing. She wasn't anywhere near as good an artist as yours. She was drawing pictures of wrists.
Oh, no.
They looked like they were on hinges. And it's just like pages and pages of it. I'm like, no. See, I'm fucking 16. I'm just a kid. I don't need to deal with this.
Yeah.
I already know. I'm not fucking dealing with this.
Yeah.
Done. And that was that. And I ended up sleeping on the couch. And so, trying to figure out what I was doing, slept on the couch for a while. And it kind of dissipated a bit until there was like a training course, Socialist Party training course that she partook in. And to do the course, you had to go away for a month. And someone else from the party was there, and they came back, and they told me that she's sleeping with this other guy. I'm like, okay, whatever, it's her thing.
You're like, thank you.
Yeah. And then I was like, what's the other guy's girlfriend think about it?
Oh, no.
And then so I ran into the other guy's girlfriend on the street. We're walking along talking about it. And I looked at her, and I'm like, you know what served them right?
Oh, no.
You know what served them right? We went to your place right now, and we fucked like rabbits. She looks at me.
All right.
She said, you know what? And she says, how old are you? I'm 16. She says, well, I'm 39. That's legal. And we did. That's my story.
Well, here's
the lesbian schizophrenic part I found out later. And then I just kind of went, fuck, that was over. That's my story. That's it. There's not much more to say.
At least yours ended better than mine. Twice. Oh, man. Yeah, and that's the craziest part, man. Growing up and going through things, everyone has a different experience. And then if you didn't have a crazy experience, then what the fuck were you doing?
We all have different experiences, but they all come down to the same thing: doing stupid shit because of our hormones. Honestly.
And I won't say that I know too much about the science behind it, but I will say that for some reason, the crazies are attracted to this. I don't know. But then again, maybe it's attracted to everyone. It's just the opportunities that people take. So, because there's been plenty of plain Janes that have crossed my path that, just weren't that interesting. So maybe that's just, what it was.
No, you got a point. Crazy. There's a lot of crazy in my life. An awful. I'll tell you about my ex-wife one day.
That'll be the next Legion story.
No, that will not be in public.
T-Crow says he broke up with a girl because she stabbed him. I actually have a story about a girl stabbing somebody. We're talking about crazy. When I was in high school, there was this girl named Amber. And oddly enough, now she was another redhead. It's funny that I thought of that. I'm not saying anything about Legion or nothing, but she was redhead as well. And she was really into me. And this is like 11th grade-ish, whatever. And I was dating this girl named Brittany in school or whatever. And I thought she was the cutest girl around, whatever. We broke up. And the other girl that always liked me was like, oh, blah, blah, you want me to teach her a lesson? And me being young and dumb, thinking, yeah, you're going to call her a bitch and slap her in the hallway. Okay, cool. The next day at school, she ends up bringing a knife and stabs 2 girls. And then the next thing you know, she was in prison. So maybe it's just like, a magnet somewhere. Like Borat said, where's the magnet? I got that magnet somewhere in my glove box. I don't know.
Well, it has to be said. I understand where you're coming from. Something about crazy that attracts you. I get it. But like attracts like.
Yeah, that's fair.
You and me, we're not quite normal people.
Yeah.
It has to be admitted. We're not quite sane ourselves.
That's very fair. So then,
we've pretty much driven this as far down as we can go.
Yeah, guys. I don't think that we can get too much more into this. Without needing a therapist, at least, give you guys an honest opinion. But
yeah,
we will recap everything. Legion finished the journey. I did not. We're going to be bringing back the Fridays consistently. Like I said, on this coming Friday, it will be me, Raven, and Becky Buckwild. And it'll be a treat. It's definitely going to be a show put on for you guys. We got Kevin coming back soon. I can't give you guys a definite time. I talked to him today. Excuse me, but we're looking at tentatively 2 weeks. And then when Kevin gets his internet where he's up and going where he's at, he will be taking over for Chuck with me on the Friday Fallouts. Chuck's taking a sabbatical. He's taking care of some personal stuff. He's doing good. No need to worry about him, but he's just doing some time for him. Adam wasn't here tonight because he's getting some dentistry done, but he should be back and in full power on next Monday's show. And I'm going to wait till, well, not me, but we're going to wait till next Monday on this show for the regular Amigos to do a giveaway, and it'll be something pretty bitchin'. And Steve knows what I'm talking about, and this is going to be a pretty penny, but you guys are worth it.
Yeah, you are. You should put up with our stories.
Yeah, you guys are still here. I can't see the chat numbers or nothing.
I can't believe that the people who are here, they're the same people who were here at the beginning. They heard your story, they heard my story, and they're still here waiting for more. These people are gluttons for punishment.
Yeah. And we love to punish you guys with our stories because these are what made us as creepy as we are now.
Next week, maybe I'll tell you about the time I was sexually harassed by my boss's wife.
That's always a good time.
Yeah.
Man, it's so weird how much we have in Connect because when I was working at a sandwich shop in high school, I would never went far, but I have a little bit of some creepiness of a boss's wife. And then I got fired because of it.
I ended up quitting because of it, so...
There you go. But yeah, guys, thanks for coming by. Like I said, I think we hit all the points we could hit. But make sure, and this is a point I really want to drive home with you guys, to give Adam shit for me being able to start the show very easily and smoothly, because he's been doing this a little bit longer than I have. But like I said, next Monday we'll have the giveaway for the 300. You guys please come through, add on in, and then if you haven't won anything, it's a great opportunity to win some stuff. I still got to figure out the giveaway thing, but otherwise, an amazing night. I appreciate every single one of you, as I'm sure Legion does as well.
We love you all.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
So have a good night.